Hi everybody, welcome to the Kings of Cana podcast, episode 2.
Whoop whoop.
Today's very interesting topic is nostalgia. I am joined by Chipsteroni,
What's up, guys?
Omar,
What's going on, y'all?
Ramrow,
Howdy, fellers.
and Jorge.
How's it going, fellas?
And, since nostalgia has kind of been a big thing on the internet for pretty much since the beginning. The feels like, a lot of memes about like old cartoons from your childhood. But what makes you guys feel nostalgic?
Man, dude, we gotta be talking about those video games, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Loved video games as a little kid.
Yeah, that's all we did.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's why.
Well,
I got my first I got like a Game Boy Color from my aunt when I was like
Shit,
4 years old.
Damn.
dude, that used to be a boss, dude.
Because I think they made a special edition Game Boy Color with Pikachu and Pichu whenever they were releasing that second movie, the Pokemon 2000 movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so she got me the gold.
I'm jelly.
She got me Pokemon Gold and the Game Boy because it was
Pokemon Gold and the Game Boy, dude.
Yeah, she gave me the whole thing, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, what's a video game?
Nice.
And if you think about it, then you talked about video games back then. It's like you think of the Nintendo or the Genesis, and it's like, wow, they were so innovative. They put it to where you can take it on the go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
our first thing was like a PS1, dude. My dad bought it off like one of my uncles, and that's all we played. Do you remember any of the games we played, Chip?
Man, PlayStation 1. We played this one, my favorite by far, I think it was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Definitely good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that game? Like, it was cool. It was like, we played it a lot, but since we were so little, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we would, and we
Yeah.
didn't.
I feel that. I know what you
Yeah,
It's like we would play the game, and we had a memory card then, so we didn't really struggle with turning it off. But like, we might as well have started over because we were just
Oh,
walking around doing whatever. Didn't know what was going on.
I know the struggle of not having a fucking
Yeah.
memory card.
Yeah,
I
me
did
too,
not
dude.
have a
I
memory
played
card for
Crash
the longest
Bash.
time.
And I didn't have a memory
I
card.
think we have always had one of those, but
Dude,
yeah.
that
I didn't
Crash
know it was a
Bash game
thing.
was cool, man.
Yeah, I love Crash Bash.
I think I had a memory
I
card.
made you guys play with all.
It's like I don't think I've played it until we bought it that one day. Did we buy it or who bought it?
You
or
got
how
it
did
at
we
a
play it?
garage sale, I think, right?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
You got it for like $5. You got that in Crash
Dude, I
Bash
think
for $5.
I was like, I think I'm pretty good at finding stuff because I found Mortal Kombat 3 at a garage sale up
That's
here.
not
in
suerte.
Huntsville. Yeah,
That was actually the Mortal Kombat trilogy, man.
trilogy. Oh,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Oh, damn.
They had all the characters, man. Every single one of
Oh, so is that the good one to have?
And
the old school Mortal Kombat, at least.
Oh, nice.
No, man,
Yeah.
but like, when I like the Game Boy Color. Like, it's cool and all, but for me, it definitely had to be the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
the Game Boy Color, it had all the stuff going for it, but the Game Boy Advance, it had the light. You could be playing in the middle of the
I had
night.
that
You're thinking about
fucking
the
light.
SP.
That's the
Game Boy
SP.
Yeah,
homie.
that's
I had the SP
Oh,
light.
yeah, the SP.
Cause like
light.
Chip, Dad bought you that Advance, and he bought me the SP. He's like, "What is this?" And he returned it like immediately.
Yeah.
I thought it was no light, no backlight.
yeah,
No,
that-
but
No, yeah, the backlight is god.
No, I had
I know you guys played in the middle of the night, or tried to at least, without getting in trouble.
I did, yeah. for
Dude,
sure.
I actually played like on the way to Mexico a lot.
Me too.
Like,
Me too.
middle
I
of the
remember
night.
Bro, I played
Kirby
hella
Amazing Mirror
card
on the way to
rides.
Mexico.
Dude, I didn't play any Kirby game until later. One of my cousins had the
I've
mirror
never
one.
touched a Kirby game.
Yeah, same.
I played
Do you like them?
I played like literally all the old ones. They were all
I've
great.
never even played like Kirby's Air Ride.
'Cause my,
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
My first console was the 64, and then it went to the Game Boy Advance, the one with no backlight. And then on the 64, I played Kirby and the Crystal Shards all the time. And then on the Advanced, I played Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. And then there's another one on there too. I think that I don't remember the name. I remember playing all the old Kirby games. They were great.
They sound pretty fun. We just never touched them, man.
Yeah, I never played it because like I think it's probably because it was like a pink ball, and I was just like, this is a girl game.
You know
Yeah,
why?
That's
yeah,
honestly
I
the
mean,
only reason why.
You're not
Cooper's
wrong.
big ball.
That's probably what we thought when we were little.
No, you know what I thought when I was little is instead of Kirby, dude, I had to play that Super Mario Bros. Man. Always the better game for me, at least.
I had the Super Mario Brothers 2.
Dude,
for
that
the
game was
Boy
like
Advance.
almost like Dark Souls for you, Chip. Do you remember breaking your
Nah,
Game
Super
Boy?
Mario Brothers
Dude,
2
yeah,
is
let me tell you about the
fucking
story.
hard.
Dude,
Let me tell you about
Wait,
the
Super
story
Mario
about that.
Brothers?
2.
Not Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Bros. 3, dude.
It was
Three.
3.
Three's pretty hard too.
Yeah.
No, let me tell you about that. Okay, so
Alright.
Super Mario Bros. 3, that game was good. I played all the other ones, and like they were all hard in their own aspect. Like for instance, the first one, it made me mad because you'd be playing that game, and then like say you start dying, right? Once you game over, you gotta start from the beginning, and you're just like, damn it, like that shit sucks, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays you don't have to deal with that, but for instance, that Mario Bros. 3 game, so tough. Like I'm talking about like I was pulling my hair out. Tough.
That's where the blood pressure problem started, right?
Yeah, man, dude.
The heart.
I started
rate.
getting sweaty. I could feel my heart pumping. That shit was hard. Let me remember. It was that cloud level. Do y'all know which?
Oh,
Oh, fuck
I know
that
what
goddamn
you're talking
level.
about.
Dude, it was that one, and then like
Fuck
instead,
that
like
world.
the game started, or not the game. The level started off. You were on a little platform, and you had to jump on these turtles that were flying.
Oh, okay,
And like
I know what you're talking
when
about.
when you jump on them, they'd move up, so you had to jump off. Or like some would move up, or someone would like you're too heavy for them, so you'd fall
Yeah.
off.
Dude,
You
so
have to time it, right?
So yeah, you had to time it, and like, bro, your boy here, he's the best at timing in Super Mario Bros. Games. But anyway, this level was different. It threw all that away. It was bullshit, right?
dude, it was funny. I came home and this thing is just like snapped in half.
I grabbed my SP from both ends, and I ripped that hoe in half. Like I Hulk smashed it, dude.
Were you upset after
I
the
just-
fact? Like after you
No,
did
it
were you
was
upset?
it wasn't like after.
I
I'm
think it's
talking
when I
like
got there and be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell."
it was like seconds after it happened. I was like, oh no, my Game Boy.
Oh dear.
And like by then, I had already gone through like 3 Game Boys, and I broke
No way.
I broke those for reasons on their own. Like let me remember. Like I think one of them, we were at a laundromat, and I was being a little shithead. I was running my Game Boy on a table, and I just slid that bitch off. Like I literally it flew.
It sucked because my dad would made me have to share mine, and I didn't like.
Because I was like, my Game Boy, no!
I had to freaking like let him use mine until like I don't know why, but my dad got him another one. I don't know if they were cheap. They might have been
No,
cheap.
that was the second one, right? And then the second one was yours. Me and you shared it, but
Yeah,
then it later on
broke
became
too.
mine. I don't remember how I broke that one. You know what? I think I do. We left it charging all day once, and it just wouldn't work anymore after that.
Damn.
Like it just
That's
stopped
unfortunate.
working. Like
That's
I
the
remember
worst.
going to the Walmart, and my dad's like, "This shit don't work." But
Oh,
and
dude.
then this is the third one, and I was like, "No, it's game over. Like my dad isn't gonna buy me another one anymore." And then I think I walked in his room. Y'all know that feeling when you did something bad and you had to go tell your parents.
Yeah.
No, man, it's the worst. Like your heart's literally like in your stomach or up your throat, however.
Yeah,
man.
throw up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I was already crying by then, dude. I didn't want to tell them because, if I did some dumb shit, I'd get in trouble, man. And this was like the biggest dumb shit I had ever done.
Really?
So, I go up to him. I'm like, I broke my Game Boy, man. And he's like, what? And I made him follow me to my room, and like I hid it for whatever reason. I put it in like the drawer, and I just pulled it out, and it was in 2. And he's like, what the hell? But no, man. Yeah, it was worse too, cause Ori over here was like, "Oh, you broke it."
He's making it worse, right?
Yeah, making it worse.
Dude, I had to. That was my job.
So did you guys ever like? Well, so is that like the worst thing you've done, Chip?
For like video games or what?
No,
Yeah,
like
cities.
when you get in trouble from your parents.
I don't even.
You know what I mean?
After a
Yeah,
while, we
is that the
stopped getting in
worst?
trouble.
I think it's just like
Based.
like how many times could they hit us?
Yeah, like me, like I would beat up Chip, and then like I'd get in trouble, After a while, I just quit because then Chip got bigger than me, and then I can't bully a kid bigger than me. So I don't know, dude.
Like, to y'all, what is the one game that is the definition of nostalgia for y'all? For you guys individually, I guess.
Sly
specifically.
Cooper 2 or Sly 2, man of
I never
Thieves.
played those.
Fucking, I've
That's what I'm-
replayed it a lot, and it's still.
We never had a
I
PS2.
still
Were they on
love it.
PS2?
Yeah, I had a PS2. I played those games.
We
They
were
really
straight
good.
Nintendo boys.
ever
but
seen, like-
we'll let you continue.
Like you see like ads in magazines of a game, and you're like, oh, I wish I could play that.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah, I
Sly was that game because I always liked raccoons for some reason. So I was like, I want to play that game, and then Sly 2 came out. I was like, Mom, please. She's like, okay.
Dude, I saw them, but never touched those games at all.
Fun as
I
fuck.
think,
If you
did
like,
you
you ever play
the
like
old
Ratchet and
and
Clank?
games?
It's like that, but like stealth.
Never
and
played
shit.
those either, dude. We just
Right?
didn't
Yeah, I
have a
haven't played
PS2.
them.
We missed
I
out
played
on all that.
I played the first PS3 one. That was the only one I ever played.
To me, they just seemed like, as I look at them now, like when I had a PS3 and could get like the HD versions or whatever, they just looked like little kid games. I would not like go near them.
I could see where you come from though, because like I never touched them because the art style was different and it looked a little too cartoonish.
Dude,
Coming
I
from
have
the
a thing- I
motherfucker
have a-
that plays Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, but
Oh,
I was a kid, obviously.
See,
I didn't
like, yeah, you grew up with
I
it, so
just
you're
thought-
gonna like it, right?
Oh,
Is that-
Sly
yeah.
2 came out in like 2005. I was like 10.
Well, I was like 9.
Dude,
so
my
I
nostalgia
like
game,
looked it up.
like, I guess one of our first was definitely Mario Party. Mario Party 2 to be exact.
Oh man, I got some fond memories on that one.
That's all we played. Going
You
to
play
my
with your
grandma's
cousins,
house.
right?
Yeah, all my cousins, dude. It was actually this, specifically it was this, his name was Cheeto and Alex. That's all we played. It was me, him,
Chip.
Alex, yeah, and Chip.
No man, but whenever there was 3 controllers, dude, I was always the one who had to sit back.
You're the little one, dude.
Dude, I always had to.
You had to watch.
But, that I felt like that game brought us all together. Like whenever we were having a party, it was like who's busting out the Nintendo 64. Like it was on deck every single time.
I feel
That and the
that.
GameCube. There was a point where we just left it at my grandma's so everyone could play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would just take turns.
I think my game would probably be Jet Force Gemini. Only because there was never like a sequel to it. It was kind of just like a one-hit thing.
Yeah.
I never
Like, it
heard
was-
about
it
that
was
game
just a
until
game.
the Rare Replay, dude. Can you tell me
Yeah,
about it?
and like in my opinion, that is my favorite video game of all time because that was the first video game that I like played and like grinded out.
Yeah. What is
And I
like the
thought it was
story
cool,
behind
whatever.
it?
I thought it was the best game, and the reason that's nostalgic to me is just because there was never a sequel made for it. I mean, there was projects about it, and like I read articles about how since Microsoft purchased like Rare and whatnot, they were gonna develop like a sequel to it, but it never ended up happening. So I always liked it because of that too, because there was never a sequel, and it just makes it even more nostalgic for me. But
Exclusive.
also because it was just a really good game in general. I know a lot of people never really heard about it.
I've never heard it till the
Game
Rare
or
Replay,
whatever,
dude.
but I
What kind of
thought it was
gameplay
fucking
is
great.
it?
Yeah, I was.
Like, what kind of
what
game
did you
is
like
it?
about it?
What is the story?
Like,
Yeah.
describe the game. Like,
It's
how.
basically like you're like these three bounty hunters in space. You're this guy, his name's Juno. This girl, I forgot what her name was, and then a dog with you, and basically
A space
and Mizar. And Mizar's got like a fucking army of like mutated ants that started going around planets and like colonizing planets and like taking them over and whatnot. And basically, your job as those 3 bounty hunters is to like basically kill all the ants and make them all go away.
So
And that's
you're
it. You
making
go
it sound
planet to
pretty cool.
planet.
Like right
You go
now, just
planet, and each planet's different. One of them's super cold. One of them's a water planet. One of them's like a rainforest type planet, and that's basically all it is.
So, like, is it like a third-person shooter?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it a
third
pla-
person. Yeah,
Okay.
third person.
nice. But speaking of Rare, dude, my first rated R game, like my M game.
Oh
was
no,
this game.
rated R.
Yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't know what it was about rated R games. My parents didn't really like have a thing against it.
Mine
you guys-
didn't either.
My mom was like, "No, you're too young."
Like literally, our dad, we're like what, like 5 or 6, and he's over there like showing us like Mortal Kombat combos and stuff that he knew.
No, like he was like, this is a guy who's like, you know, if he's watching like the Chainsaw Massacre, like we'd watch it too.
That's
But no man, keep going. What game were we talking about?
Oh, well, no, I was just saying that the Conker's Bad Fur Day was our first like M-rated game.
You know what? Like
And the
I felt like
multiplayer.
that was one of the other games too that like it had such a big like not impact on us, but like I don't know, just like something about that game we all like. Like
There was
maybe
a
it's just because it was
multiplayer,
rated
too.
R and we were playing, and it's like it was very raunchy and like definitely not for kids.
Mhm.
But yeah, that the multiplayer on there was good too.
You see,
Yeah.
I never played Conquerors. I have never touched that game ever. But at one point, I actually thought to myself that it isn't as good as people say it is, just because of how much people talk about it.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything because I've never played it. So
But you know,
I think I
think
played the multiplayer with you guys, and I thought it was pretty fun.
I think you'd be surprised. I think it's one of the hidden gems, actually. You know, you say a lot of people talk about it. I don't.
I hear it
I
a
hear
lot.
it. I don't think I hear it as much as like say Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Stadium or something like that.
No, I think it's in the same vein as like Pokemon Snap, where like everyone
Dude,
who
we
liked
played
it
that
liked
once. Pokemon Snap.
I haven't
thought it
played
was cool,
Pokemon
but there's
Snap.
there's like very bare bones. All you do is take pictures of them.
But,
you
But
know?
that's I feel like
a lot
that's
of
the
people just
difference
thought it was
though.
like cool. It's like one of those games that's cool, because you just go around taking pictures of Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
But-
cool.
But you see, most of these games that like aren't as good as people think. It's like you know you play them and it's like I'll. This is a game where I bought it and I'm like damn I should have bought another game. But Conquer, man, like you could play that game all day.
Dude,
So,
real quick, like going back to Pokemon like Snap, is that like Pokemon Go now? Did they like base the idea off of that? Taking pictures or catching them on the go? Or what?
I mean, you'd play.
Because-
You wouldn't play on the go.
So for a person that's never played Conquerors, do you think that if I were to go, since I've never played it, if I were to go back and play it now, like on the 64, would I have as much fun as you guys had back
Like,
in the day when y'all
do you
played
think?
it?
Do you
when y'all
think
played it?
Conker's aged well?
Did it age well? You know, if you're talking about graphics, well, no Nintendo 64.
I
game
think
looks that
gameplay
good.
is real important, especially for a Nintendo 64 game.
Well,
Dude.
you know that game's definitely been one where like I've played it recently and it's still good. Like
Okay.
the way I see it is like what like this game. It's like you can. It's literally like you if you like Mario 64 or say Banjo-Kazooie, it's in the same vein.
I
like
heard,
you,
I heard like Mario 64 from a lot of people. It still holds up, so I believe that.
well, yeah. So like if you like those, it's in the same vein. Like you walk around, you collect stuff, and the thing about it though is that like this game, it's very like crude humor. Like
It has
it's-
a good story.
yeah, it has a good story, but like
A lot of
you're-
movie references.
You're literally fighting a giant pile of poop, like, and it sings to you. Like how, I don't know, like you'd have to be a hard ass for you not to at least chuckle from time to time. Like they say some funny stuff in between. Like the thing about that game too is that like it doesn't take itself that serious. It knows it's a fucking comedy ish game.
Like it knows it's a big meme.
Yeah. Like, are you gonna pick that over Jet Force Gemini? I mean, I don't know. It just kind of depends.
Well, I'm biased, so I'm always gonna pick that.
I think it's worth a shot. Like, to say that, like, well, I don't know about now because the game's like $100.
Really hard to find. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
But,
the place, the Freaks and Geeks, and didn't have a copy.
yeah, it's boxed for like $300.
Oh, I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I saw it.
Checked it out. 300.
I saw it. I pointed it out to my girlfriend. Yep.
Damn.
Is that like
That's a
unopened?
lot.
Are
That's
games worth more with the box? Is that like the thing?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that just the complete
Especially if
package?
the
Especially
box
with
is
60
in good
Nintendo
condition.
64 boxes, where like most people would probably.
Oh,
just throw
probably
them
no.
away.
Yeah, no one probably kept those. Do any of y'all have any of those boxes left?
My brother
don't.
had a Nintendo 64, and we don't have any of those fucking boxes.
I used to keep Pokemon boxes like Emerald because I thought it was cool.
That's the exact same
Big
reason why games in the box are worth so much more. It's like, who kept the boxes? It's like, I'm trying to play the video game. Screw the boxes. I'm throwing them
Yeah.
away.
Like with CDs, like you keep the boxes because they're a safe place to put the CD. But with
Yeah,
like
you didn't
a
need a safe place for
cartridge,
game
it's kind of
cartridge.
like whatever. Because it
You
will
just
probably
get
get
them all out.
just as
Yeah.
dusty anyway, so why keep the box?
Yeah,
That's
but
Especially when your mom's
You
like,
know,
"Well,
when
you don't
we
need
were
a
li-
box."
Yeah, when we were little, we thought boxes were kind of just like in the way, so we like threw them all out, like our GameCube games. We just had like a little, I don't even know what to call it.
it was a
held
little
the
like
discs.
disc holder. Like it was
Like
a
a-
circle disc holder.
I know what you're talking about.
We we called it the infamous game thing. If we were ever looking for it, it's like, hey man, have you seen the game thing?
Yeah.
Like I know you guys had that, like a little pouch that held all your
actually,
favorite
yeah.
games or your.
My mom
discs
had
or
one
whatever.
for like CDs. in the
Yeah,
car.
but now looking at it back, I wish we would have kept the GameCube boxes because we had some really good ones, like the Melee one or the Legend of Zelda collectors. You know,
I had that too.
I think that introduced us
the little
into
gray.
yeah.
That was the first time I ever played Zelda 2.
You know, I feel like like he said, that was like where gaming became a thing for us. Because back then, it's like you play a couple games, you get bored of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like say you go to a laundromat and you have an arcade machine. It's like you can only play it so much or until you're run out of quarters. But that Legend of Zelda game, it's like it came with what, like, let's say what was
Ocarina
it?
of Time,
It came-
Majora's Mask.
Yeah, it came
I
with
think
the
a demo
the
of
OG.
Wind Waker.
Yeah, that was the big deal. It came with the demo of Wind Waker.
And I think it had Legend of Zelda 2 on
It
it.
had the first one too.
Yeah, well, anyways, it's like, boom, 4 games in one. Like, if you didn't get bored of one, it's like, you can move on to the other. It's like, but the thing is that this game, it's like, it hooked you on. Like you played it, and then you're like, whoa, this game's pretty big. Like,
Dude, do you guys? I don't know. I didn't like Wind Waker. Like just looking at it visually, so I never
I
played
think
it.
it's a good game.
wait, hold on, let me finish.
But I'm not
here.
nostalgic
Yeah,
for
sorry.
Wind Waker because I played.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you have
series.
goggles on? The
No,
nostalgic
but-
goggles?
No,
but
I
the
played the
thing
Wii
is,
U one.
Is
But
that
you
like,
can go ahead.
like I said before, then you didn't have games that like kept you for like hours on end. This game, you'd have to play, and then you come home from school and you got to play some more, and then like you just kept on it, and like back then, before the days of the internet, you really didn't look up any of this. It's like you knew it or you didn't.
Yeah, you'd have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
With Ocarina of
speaking of
Time, do you
that,
remember when we messed up Chip in the water temple? We like had to start over.
I think about it now, and it's like, did we really mess up, or were we just little kids and we didn't know what to do?
like,
'cause,
go on, finish that. Sorry.
No, yeah, like, we had to start over, and like that's, if you think about it, Water Temple and Legend of Zelda, like that's more than half the game already, and like we had to start over, and like being little kids, it's like, oh shit, do you remember what we did to do this or that or how we got there? And like, no, but yeah, go ahead, Omar.
Well, what I was gonna say was how y'all were talking about before the internet days. Did y'all ever go to like, whenever y'all would go to Walmart, did y'all ever go to like the little book section, the little cheat code books,
Dude,
and write down like
always.
cheats for like
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto or anything
Dude,
like
yeah,
that?
I
I
fucking
never
read
got
them.
good at that.
I somehow got my dad to buy me one, and it was so outdated. Like a year later, though.
I actually bought one from the elementary school bookstore, and that shit
Yeah.
was outdated too.
Dude,
I had a cousin that would write them on a piece of paper, and they would just keep it in his
I
room.
think. Yeah, dude. So like that changed. Like we don't have cheat code books anymore or cheat games.
And the thing about that too is that like I didn't even have those games. I just look at the codes and be like, dude, you can turn big heads on in Grand Theft Auto. Like, dang, that sounds cool, man.
Yeah.
And, like, that's like the-
I was like, there's some crazy stuff you can do to video.
It's like you didn't even have to know what was going on. It's just like the name of it, like infinite ammo. It's like, whoa, you can get
Yeah.
infinite ammo. Like, it's like things you wouldn't bat an eye at, or you wouldn't bat an eye to today.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
But-
one thing that I definitely miss nowadays in games too. Is the fact that like
Just-
now
Just to have
everything's,
fun
like,
with them.
now everything's DLC. You pay for it and that's it. There's no real.
Dude, how do y'all feel about that?
unlockables.
Are games complete or are they just incomplete?
No, I remember back then. It's like the point of the games is like, damn, I have to spend $60 on one game. Like, which is it gonna be? Nowadays, it's like I have to spend $60 on like half of a game or
Yeah,
3/4 of a
that's
game.
true.
You know what
And
that
it's-
is, right?
Why is it?
Well, it's because it's like, so whenever they have the development stuff, they have a lot of stockholders that pump money into these games. And see, the problem is that they want to make it look nice for presentation, specifically for consumers and for their stockholders, because they want to see, like, look, your money's not going to waste. Like, look at this fancy game we're giving. And so they show a bunch of numbers and stuff to the stockholders, and then they're like,
That
okay, we have
ruins
this
games,
many
dude.
pre-orders, and like this game's gonna sell well. But then when it comes out, it's like people play it, and then it's like a week later, people are
Yeah,
like,
you're
"This game's
describing
bad,
Battlefront 1,
awful."
dude.
No, it's
EA.
actually all over the video game market now.
You know, that's telling me like
That-
all with you saying that, it's all just screaming money to me. Like all
No,
money's behind all
No,
of
That's
it.
yeah,
that's the
that's
problem with
definitely
stuff.
what it
It's
is,
not a
yeah.
passion thing anymore. It's just like, hey, let's sell games to make money.
Yeah, it's just a cash grab
And
now. Yeah.
and like we were talking about earlier, it's like the whole nostalgia thing. Like that can be with some of these rebooted movies or
And-
rebooted games. It's just more money to make for developers with or without even having to work. It's like you can reboot a movie, the plot's all there. You just have to put it together. It's like already done. It's just copy and pasting.
It sucks too, cause like you know, like I said, like you know, you have to spend $6. Well, kids nowadays, like for instance, like if their parents are buying them a game, it's like, man, they really have to look at what they're buying, cause like it's not like back then where at least you'd get a full game. You know, you'd get your money's worth out of that. It just depends on if you
Yeah,
like it
because
or
now
not.
it's like you
Now
spend
it's
$60 in a
fast,
game,
man.
and then they got like, Mom, can I get the $20 expansion pack or
It's
whatever?
more than yeah. I wish it was just $20 with certain
Honestly,
games.
like people talk shit about Fortnite, but I know a lot of parents are happy that like they're like
Yeah,
free
I
game
agree.
and you spend like $20 a month or whatever.
No, but yeah, why did we like video games? What made you as a little kid choose like, hey, you know
I
what,
mean-
I'm buying that game? Like, why did you buy a game?
Okay, I got one.
That
Really
actually
nice.
is interesting. But go
So
ahead.
when I was little, I heard and watched a commercial for Kingdom Hearts, the very first one, and I wanted to go to Blockbuster to rent it, and it wasn't there, and I was like so upset because like I was
I feel
spending time in Kansas with my family. Like I have my mom's side of the family, they live in Kansas for whatever reason, but I went to go visit them and everything. And my uncle's like, "Oh, you like that? Like I like the commercial." He's like, "I'll go get it for you, man. Like let's go. We'll go together." And he took me and like he bought me candy or whatever. We were gonna play. I was gonna play that game like all day.
You got some candy, man?
Yeah, and because you rent it for a few days, and so
Yeah.
we were gonna rent it for like 3 days, and he's like, "You're gonna try to beat it in 3 days," and I was like, "Oh yeah, this sounds cool." I mean, I was like 7. I knew I wasn't gonna beat it, but I couldn't even beat Pokemon Crystal. I had to get him to beat it for me.
Dude, that was a
And,
thing.
Like,
Get
I saw the
someone else to beat
commercial,
it,
and
man,
that's what
like,
really got me.
level
And we went to Blockbuster, and then it's not there.
Wow.
And then I had to wait a few years, and then I got the one that was on Game Boy because that was openly available. Because I didn't have a PlayStation 2 at the time; I only had a PlayStation 1. But I had a Game Boy Advance.
No.
You know, now
whenever that came out, I bought Kingdom Hearts: Chain of Memories, which was on the Game Boy. My mom bought it for my birthday.
Right.
It was-
for me, I don't, now that you say that, I don't remember much video games going on TV. I know they were a thing, but like the
Yeah.
games that I looked at, I don't remember seeing them on TV very
Yeah, I
much.
mean,
yeah, that's pretty crazy too. Because
Yeah.
like,
'Cause
I
it is-
feel like I don't remember any Pokemon commercials. Even
I
though,
remember
like,
one.
played a lot
I
of
remember
Pokemon.
one for Diamond and Pearl that aired on Cartoon Network. But it is kind of crazy because like nowadays, like if you're like a kid, you're gonna see like YouTube ads because it caters to you. 'Cause you
Yeah.
look up video game
Wow.
shit. If you follow people on Twitch, like they're probably gonna play like the new game. So like seeing like new
specifically-
games isn't like it's not crazy anymore. But like back then, it's kind of like why did we buy a certain game?
You know why we bought games?
It's a box art, right, for us?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Then or now you have like videos and everything to show you like
Hype
what you're
train,
getting yourself
baby.
into, right? And it's like that's cool and all, but back then we were playing in hard mode. You go to your GameStop
Yeah.
or you go to your local video
I
game
had
store.
no idea.
All you had is the front box, and it's like, whoa, that's a cool picture, and then the back that shows some gameplay, and it's like, whoa, man,
Yeah.
that looks awesome. Like,
Because you
Yeah.
mentioned you saw the game and then you went to go rent it and it wasn't there. For us, it was just we just picked a game that was there. If it looked cool, we just got it.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing. I played a lot of games like, well, this is here.
That's how.
Um,
Yeah, you discover some new games.
I played
too.
like Mirror's Edge like that, and I didn't like it.
That's how we discovered Uncharted 2 later in growing
That's how
up.
I played Uncharted 2 like that too. And I really
but you
liked
see,
it.
the way that it was back then is that, like, for instance, like, it was either gambling on a game that you never played, or hoping that the game that you have now, they came out with a 2 of it, like the next game in line.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm pretty sure the way, like, my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, Sonic Adventure 2, was because I loved Sonic Adventure so much. I was like, you know what? That'd be cool if they made a second one of it. And luckily enough, they did. And it's like, whoa, like, I had to have it that day. And I remember I was like, I showed it to my dad. I was like, look, homie, this is a second game. I need this right fucking now.
Dad, give me
I
your
think
wallet.
I think what it was for me is the fact that like it was my brother, because my brother is like 8 years older than me, 8 years older than me. So whenever I was growing up with video games, he already knew about all these games before I did, and he would tell me like, hey, like you might be into this, like check this game out, or like play this, you might be into this and that.
Yeah.
And I think because of him is the reason why I got into video games now too. And most specifically is because he always showed me like all the fucking violent games, like all the shooter games.
Oh,
like,
man,
like he showed me all of those, and those were the ones that caught my attention. Were the violent games, like, kill people, or Mortal Kombat. It's all
That must be
gory
pretty
and
cool
shit.
having like recommendations, from
Yeah.
your older brother.
So I think that's what helped me out
Yeah,
too.
for me and Chip, it was just if we both agreed on it, we'd have to just go for it. But most of the times when we were younger, it was if I liked it, because I was older, I got to pick.
It was either that or my dad just bought 2 games, in the rare chances that it happened. Like, I remember for Christmas one year, my dad bought us 2 games, but you can tell how much I love my Game Boy in the way that I was happier with Mario Bros. 3 getting that for Christmas, and Jorge got a whole GameCube. And I was like,
Double Dash edition,
Damn.
dude.
oh, I remember that too, the Double Dash edition.
Yeah, that
It was,
picture's hanging up on the wall, dude.
yeah, it was all silver. It came with 2 controllers for 2 players.
That's
And-
awesome.
But you know what? I didn't care about that. I had Mario Bros. 3, dude.
And then you destroyed it.
Oh yeah.
You ever like played a game you really like?
Dude, if you saw the picture of me then, I was happy as shit, dude. super
Mario
happy.
Bros.
Dude,
I
that's
agree with
something.
that.
Do consoles do that nowadays? Come with two like controllers in a game?
No, man, they don't.
Because you can just play online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
It's
Wow.
You
all
would just sell more consoles.
Yeah.
Like
Or
I remember
controllers.
back
That's a
then.
little sad, dude.
Back then, that was our biggest worry. It's like, dang, did it come with 2 controllers? Like, if you had a brother or not, or like whatever. And it's
How
like,
about-
oh,
What
Oh.
about you, Will?
Or what?
Like, how was your experience with games? Like, what got you into them?
I mean,
Like,
My-
did your brother? Like, did you have
my-
something like Omar?
my
Or-
brother played games. I remember like he'd play, but he wasn't like super into it. But like, I guess I just liked him because I didn't like have like a whole lot of friends growing up, and I kind of like didn't have like a lot of outside influence. So I just play whatever.
I think that's like pretty much the same thing I had. I'm like the oldest out of all my cousins,
Yeah.
and like the
So
gap is like
I don't even have cousins.
yeah.
Like
It's
they're
like, you don't
like
have to be
they're
family.
like they were like 30 at the time, or they didn't exist yet.
I see.
oh man,
Like,
yeah, that must
you
be
know,
tough.
I'm like in the middle, like nobody here. So like, and that's kind of like I kind of just liked what I liked, and like I remember when I bought Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was like a year after it came out. I think it just came out on PS3 because it came out on Xbox a year before. And I remember because they were talking about like why would you buy a game. I think I was at like a GameStop, and like you could like open the boxes and the manual would be in there. And
yeah,
I was like
yeah,
looking
yeah.
through it, and I was like, this game looks sick. Like you can pick races and shit. Because I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like. I played like some JRPGs, but nothing like that. I was like, oh, this game
Right.
looks cool. Like, and I was like, hey mom, can I buy this? And she's like, oh yeah. And so I bought it. Like, and stuff like that. Because like you start to like play games, and you start to like see like all like this game was made by this developer studio or whatever. So you'll buy other games that were made by the same studio. Like
Right,
I
right.
like the Grand Theft Auto games, so I'd buy like Bully and like Red Dead Revolver, because like they have the logo, they have the same like it's made by the same guys.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
What you're
Oh,
saying. Yeah.
kind of like Nintendo. Like you saw
Like you
anything
see like
Nintendo and you knew it
you
was
play
good.
like Super Mario Brothers 3, and then you're like, oh like Legend of Zelda is made by Nintendo too. I bet it's sick.
Yeah, dude. Oh man,
I don't know. I don't think my brain was big enough back then to see that. I just played whatever I thought looked cool. I personally never paid attention to that. Like, oh, this game was made by this company or this developer.
Yeah.
So is this game? I'm gonna try it out because of that.
I think
don't
that's
know.
how I am now, but like
But-
yeah, back then
but,
definitely
like-
not.
no,
like-
but like it kind of was though. Like if you saw Mario or Nintendo
Oh,
related,
yeah,
you
definitely,
knew.
Yeah, like yeah.
I felt like I knew
Naughty
that.
Dog.
Yeah, that too. Like
The Jack game, Jack and
yeah,
You know, that's a game
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
used
even
to
bring
play.
up.
I used to play Crash Bandicoot and
Yeah, Crash was
and
one
so
of our
when
first
Jack,
games too.
I played Jack and Dexter. Like I think like my aunt bought it for me, the first one,
Yeah.
and I played that. And so like I rented Jack 2 because like you know you like, and then but I played Jack 3 too. I bought that because I was like I never finished Jack 2, but I liked it. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just play Jack 3, and you know I beat that. But like you know I got like into it through stuff like that, and
No, but for us, yeah, like Horace said, it was really just since we had 2 people, it was me and him. It was always like either rock paper scissors or like whose turn it was, or you know if we could agree on a game. Because
Damn, man.
if we couldn't agree on a game, we just leave without anything.
That sounds
And, like,
tough.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like shit.
No, but you know, me and Jorge, for whatever reason, we
You had
had
to work together, right?
No, but like it wasn't that hard back then. I think we just had similar interests. I think it's just before we grew up, kind of. Like we always we always thought Mario was cool. We always thought Legend of Zelda was cool. If he thought something was cool, he kind of just like, hey man, like let's do this, and like I'd like kind of be suckered into it,
Yeah, I tricked you
Or-
into getting some games.
or it'd be like, hey man, you know we bought this game already, like, or we bought your game already, it's my turn, and it's like
Yeah.
you know that worked too. But it sounds tough not having anyone to really be like, you know, you should play this game, or like, hey,
Yeah, because like especially when you rent games, it's like well like you don't know what's good or not, so you kind of just
Yeah, what
Yeah,
about
there's
your
no
friends?
internet. There's like
What about-
no one to
We're
talk
talking
to
about
about it.
great games. What about some shit games we used to play?
Oof.
oof.
Oh, do y'all remember that one game? It was I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically Mario 64, but it was about a lizard that you went
With
around like
Gex?
this.
Gex into the something.
Like, yeah,
Was
that-
it good?
Yes, but I know that lizard.
Papa Rappa?
You know where I saw
Papa
that
Rap
thing?
is fucking
Oh,
godlike.
Gex Enter the Gecko.
Yeah, Gex into the Gecko. You know where I saw that gecko at? For whatever reason, at the schools that I went to, they had that as mouse pads. Like
I fucking
I know
remember
you're
that
talking
shit.
I know.
Uh,
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I
it did
remember
have
that.
that.
Unless this is like the
I
Mandela
fucking
effect.
I would name my Skeptile Gex because of those fucking mouse pads on
Dude,
Pokemon.
I'm
Ruby
telling
and
you, that's
Sapphire.
where I remember it. Like I
No.
never played the game,
right?
but it was just because of those mouse pads, dude.
Oh my god.
yeah. No, I actually had it. I had it on 64, and I played it.
Gex.
That game was
Dang,
fucking
dude, that game came out in 1995 of April, so it's like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I wasn't even
awesome.
conceived.
You know one game that I was like was poop was back then in my my like say I was in kindergarten, right? I ran this like circle of kids that played video games. Like we'd trade games and we'd be like, "Hey
I
man, I
remember
got this.
that.
You want this?" Well, I remember one time. This is one. I went through I think 2 copies of Mario Bros. 3. But the
Yeah.
reason why I did was because like this guy was like, "Dude, look at this Japanese Game Boy game that I have." It was Bomberman, and like I remember the picture of it looks so cool. Like it was like a dude holding a bomb like flying, and I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool." And he's like, "Trade me that game, and I'll trade you this game." And I was like, "All right, dude, I'll do it." And like we traded in it, and I held that shit in my backpack, and like I was so happy that I thought it was a good game. Like every 5 minutes, I'd look in my backpack just to make sure it was still there. And I remember getting home, plugging that into my Game Boy, and like I played it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh no, what did I do?" It
didn't
was
like
so
Bomberman.
bad.
Yeah, I think
The
you
worst
showed me, and I
thing you
told
ever
you it was
made.
bad.
Yeah, and then that next day, I brought the game back, and I was like, "Dude, can I get my game back?" And he's like, "You what? You didn't like it?" And I was like, "Nah, man, like it's not my game." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll bring it tomorrow." And then tomorrow would come, and I'm like, "Hey, you got my game?" "Oh, bro, I forgot, man."
I'll
Dude,
bring it tomorrow.
I'll bring it
Oh,
tomorrow.
No.
And,
Oh,
and
no.
then I waited till tomorrow, and I was like, "Hey, you got my game?" He's like, "Yeah, let me check real quick." And he's looking in his bag. He's like, "Dog, dude, I think I forgot it at home, bro. I'll bring it tomorrow. Don't worry." And then we ended up moving up grades, and I never saw him again.
Damn.
He
That's
left with
Dude,
my Mario Bros.
no.
3, man.
Damn, dude, you got swindled.
You
I got
did get
swindled,
swindled, man. He knew,
I got
dude.
swiper, dude. I should have told him
He knew
swiper, no
the-
swiping.
Yeah.
The Oh, I played SpongeBob games.
Now that I think about it.
Dude, another
They
game.
were good though. They,
Well, we're on
I wouldn't say they were ass.
Dude, you bring up SpongeBob games, and that reminded
Battle
me of the story,
of
dude.
Bikini Bottom.
Battle.
I-
That's what I played. Battle
I
of
don't know
Bikini
what
Bottom.
That's a
but
game
we
I rented
played it.
twice for sure.
I had
We
the
played it.
SpongeBob game on Game Boy, right? And
Mm.
the homie, is like I'm telling you, it's in this ring that we had. I traded a game, and he let me borrow a game. I think I let him borrow Yoshi's Island. I played the SpongeBob game. It was pretty good. And another kid from the circle was like, "Hey, like, let me play that game." And I was like, Liz, "What's up? Like, what game you got?" And he showed me, like, I think it was some, like, I don't know. I think it was like a Jimmy Neutron game. And I was like, you know what? It sounds kind of sketchy, but I'll trade it. And like,
It's sus.
it was. I don't think it was bad, but like, so like, I don't know if you kept up with the story, but I basically traded some other kid's game. And you know what happened? He caught up to me.
Why?
Like, I ended up getting in trouble. The
Like
kid
with
who, he told the teacher. The original kid, he's like, "I want my game back." And I was like, in my head, I was like, "Homie, you're out of the circle, bro. Like, no more trading games for you." And he was like, "Well, who has the game?" And I was like, "Homie here has the game." And he's like, "Well, where's the game?" And like, for whatever reason, it was just a big ordeal. And I was like, "Damn." And I remember after that, I didn't trade games anymore, man. It was too risky.
You got out of that business, huh?
I got out of that while
Fixed
You
your
got
life.
out of the life, dude.
I got straight, dude. Like, I was out of the game, bro.
Damn. So isn't it, dude? While we're still talking about nostalgia and stuff, is nostalgia goggles a thing?
Man, I don't know.
How do
'cause,
you-
I don't
like,
even know what that concept means.
I've actually like thought about stuff like that, and I revisited a lot of games I used to play, and I still like most of them.
Yeah, cause like
There's
I know
a lot of
of
stuff
people.
I like even more,
Mm.
and like there's some stuff like, like
I'm gonna Google that.
I don't really like Naruto that much anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Like stuff
Yeah.
like that, but like for video games, like most of the games I used to like as a kid, I like now. Like I played Sly 2 recently. I like that game.
Maybe it's like if you grew up with them and played them and you liked them, you'll still like them. But like a game that I always like bring up, dude, is I don't know, like Star Fox 64.
I
Dang,
I
what
never
about it,
played
man?
I can't get into it. I look at it and it's it's old graphics. So I mean, I guess I give it a pass, because it's old. But I don't know.
No,
What it-
man.
why you-
I thought the
Did y'all
controls
like
were
it?
alright. Like, I
Did
mean,
y'all
the
like-
controls
did y'all
were
play it?
okay. I played.
I liked it.
Did it have a co-op?
I think it did. It had a
think so,
two-player.
yeah.
Yeah, I played co-op with Arturo and Lewis a few times, and like the controls are alright. Like, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was kind of spooky, actually. Like, cause they
The
knew how
final
to
boss?
get to
The
the they know how to
boss?
get to like the hard one, and it's like a
Yeah,
big
I know
brain,
what
and
you're
it's like
talking about,
freaky
Yeah.
looking. Like
The thing
and
about that
that's
is
vivid
though.
to me, you know.
The thing about that is though, like, a lot of that nostalgia is just because like you grow up with it, right? Like you said, and I feel like some people can either choose to to be like, "Hey, man, it wasn't as good as y'all remember," but some people are just so like hard-headed about it. Like they insist that their old shitty game is still good. Like-
Pokemon Blue and Red.
What
Like,
are
Pokemon
some-
I
some
agree.
examples-
Those
what
were
are some
Pokemon Red and
examples of
Blue
those?
are not good.
Like
games.
an example that I have.
Games are good. Are a good example of that. What is yours, Chip?
Like an example that I have is that, like we talked about it earlier, that Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time game. It was good back then, but it still gets a lot of praise. And I was like, guys, we got to grow up. Like that game is only so good.
I
Like,
know it's not the first game, but it did a good job of setting the foundation for like the 3D Zelda.
yeah, but like look at it. Like some people like praise it for being like this 3D powerhouse when if you play it now, the game is so ugly. Like you look at the grass and it's all blurry and textured, and like you could say that like
It's
that-
definitely hardware limitations, but
I guess, but like some other games like say
like Super
Mario-
Mario 64.
yeah,
it
exactly.
could have been
Like
like
it doesn't
a,
look as bad.
definitely not as bad.
It could have been a
Legend-
size thing, because I know the Legend of Zelda games are pretty lengthy, in comparison. So it could be something like that, like because they have to manage,
That-
manage memory.
That game
Okay.
came
and
out
stuff.
in '98, right? So like I'm just looking up games that came out during that time to, like, I guess, compare graphics.
Yeah.
And Half-Life came out.
That came
Metal
on
Gear Solid.
computers. Computers were
Yeah,
significant.
Fallout 2,
powerful.
Banjo-Kazooie was out.
But like even
Not
a good
even thinking
example.
about all that.
Banjo-Kazooie is a pretty lengthy game, and it does not look as bad as Legend of Zelda does.
Is that on
Yes, it's
I
on
think
64.
okay. I think I remember watching a video that they did some really smart stuff with how they stored their
that could've
data
been
into their
interesting.
cartridge. It definitely has to do with like you have to manage your things right because you're very constrained whenever you're
Right,
making a video
but
game.
Crash Bandicoot 3 was another one that I didn't think looked bad, and it came
No,
out
no, no.
the
See,
same
yeah,
year.
that's just people who really
That's also on
are
PlayStation,
crafty
right?
when you make a game.
Yeah, but see, the thing
it's like
is,
managing everything really well.
what I'm saying is that, like, you're justifying it. Cool, you're making
No,
good
I'm
points.
trying to explain like
I mean,
why things would be bad.
It doesn't, but it still doesn't. It doesn't deserve the praise that it still gets. Like,
I never
Ivan-
played that game, so I wouldn't know.
I think
I'm
Ivan's
just saying
kinda,
why it would happen.
He's saying that like the art direction of Ocarina of Time is just ugly.
Oh, okay.
Because
even then,
like the
like-
art direction in other games like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie are better because it just looks better.
But even then, like,
Is it because it's
you-
brighter?
You take it all into consideration. Like, even the gameplay, like most of it was you just walking around.
Like, you couldn't jump in that game.
You couldn't jump.
You couldn't jump?
Yeah,
You had to
can't jump.
traverse fields, and it's like, how fast can you go? Like, you had to trot, and that's it. Maybe a roll sometimes.
Oh, God.
You had a horse.
And it's
it's
like
Couldn't
the fir-
jump? Huh?
That's towards a little later. You know, you get that horse. It does
exactly.
go.
That's like
Romero,
until
like
you're
until
old.
Breath of the Wild, you couldn't jump in Zelda games, unless it's
Why
like
is it
Zelda
3D
2.
then?
That's so weird. You're right.
You didn't.
Why would it be
exactly.
3D?
Until Breath of the Wild,
don't-
couldn't jump.
No, it's not a platformer, dude.
Yes. What? Why is it
Because
3D?
there's no need for you to jump.
The,
It's
the
like-
reason
Waker,
why
you
it
can't
was in
jump.
3D was because like it was the
They wanted to
time.
flex.
Like they wanted
Because
everything
3D
on
was the
3D.
gimmick.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
just
they
how
wanted
it
to
was.
flex. It was something
Well, that's
like
just
that.
where the video game industry was going. Like, it had to be 3D.
And it sucks because like you think about the video game industry now, and it's like, oh, like let's appeal to these guys who still think these games are good. Let's make those games now, and it's like, of course, it's gonna sell really well, but it's like the people who are like, we could be getting new games, we could be evolving, but we're choosing to go back. We're
Well,
choosing to
some
remaster games.
studios are forward thinking, like CD Projekt Red. They're not sticking with their old stuff. I mean, did you see Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
They completely ditched The Witcher. That it happened and it's over. What
But
others? Or what?
I think a
But,
lot,
like,
I'm just
See,
tired
that's
of
why, that's why
Gen
I like for example, like what I was saying earlier. That's why I like Force Gemini so much too, is because there was only one.
The one and done.
There was only one, and there was nothing to continue after. That's what I thought was so good about it too, is because that's what makes it so nostalgic, is that there's only one. Like
yeah, I agree. Like,
that's a valid reason. You know what I mean? Like they're not continuing it. Like they're not trying. To
Oh,
do
just to
that, you know
push
what
it,
I mean?
just to make more money, or
Yeah,
when it doesn't need to. Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
because it's like it kind of sucks when they make a sequel years later and it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Like
you
Sly
see,
Cooper is
like-
a good example of that. They made a fourth one after the trilogy, which the trilogy's all on the same engine and it's all made by Sucker Punch. Well, they made a fourth one for
That's
the
a great
PlayStation 3, and it was made by a different studio and has a new engine. And like the thing with the Sly Cooper, the original trilogy, like the movement is so good. Like you can like jump anywhere, and it just feels fluid. Like you feel
Right.
like it's one of those games where you feel like you have complete control over your character. And like it's missing, and stuff like that's missing. Like the story's dumb, and it's just like why bring it back when you're just not gonna do it right?
Do it right. Yeah.
See, like,
Yeah.
but the issue with that, you bring up a good point, because like you're saying, like, oh, if they're not gonna do it right, but the point is that they made something that they tried to be innovative, right? But a lot of these days, like people, they either they expect something new, for instance, like a new game, and it's like if it's not how these old games played, it's like people aren't gonna play it. They're throwing fits over it. But
Ooh.
if it's something close to what the original was, it's like why are we still playing these old kind of games? Like
Or-
we need new
How do y'all
games.
feel
I
about
don't
the
even
Devil May
mind,
Cry series? Because didn't
but
they sort of try to reboot?
To
and
kind
then-
of go with Ryden's point or Chip's point is
What?
like when you when someone's like not happy when a thing changes directions, or they're happy that it stays the same, but like what I don't really mind when like a game series does what it does, because you know that's what you come there for. But I really do hate it when like a game series kind of abandons all of its like trappings and all of its like usual standard fare to like copy kind of what's going on in the rest of the industry.
Right.
Because like I feel like my problem with Breath of the Wild is it kind of feels like a Ubisoft open world game sometimes.
Oh, I
And
can
it's
see what you say.
like-
That the towers where you
and
go.
it's kinda like-
Assassin's Creed.
Like the
Far
first
Cry
Legend
has.
of Zelda game was like one of the first like open world you can go anywhere and do stuff games. So like when Breath of the Wild kind of returns that, it's like okay, good, because you're like one of the pioneers of that. That's your thing, even though that is kind of like the open world game is kind of like a big deal now. Like you know, even like games like Metal Gear Solid started doing it. But like when you're starting to copy things that were pretty much like, it's like other like when you see like older bands like copying bands that were copying them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Right.
it's kind of like you can change and you cannot change, but like it's almost like selling out, and it's just kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing
You
is
see,
that
it
like
makes-
no matter what you do, it's like you get shitted on either way. Like you
and
make
that-
a new game.
I agree.
that
It is.
feels new.
It's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, and it's like, why is that fair? Because like you get games that try something new. Like for instance, we were talking about Devil May Cry. You get the reboot of Devil May Cry, and in all actuality, you play the game and it's just fine. Like there's no problem with it. The only thing is that like they have they went a new direction with their main protagonist, and it's like people did not like it. They want absolutely nothing with it, and it's like, why? If it's
Even
still
though
the
it's
same game, what's the problem? Like I understand that it carries a lot of like weight towards it, but like to completely disregard it as a game as a whole, I don't think that's right.
Like Pokemon Black and White's another example where like a lot of people, like you know, it's like they didn't like Black and White because you're forced to use the new Pokemon. But like how I've always seen it is like I don't need to like 150 Pokemon in each gen. I just need to like 6. And Black
Right.
and White, I like more than 6 because I can replay it with different teams. But I like at least 6, and so I can have a good time because there's 6 Pokemon where like these guys look sick, they're cool, they're fun to use. And my favorite part about playing a new Pokemon game is like catching a Pokemon, you have no idea how good it is, and then that motherfucker's just a bitch killer, and you're like, hell yeah,
Right.
this guy's bro. And then you see him in other games, you're like, I want to use him because he's a fucking homie. Like
It-
Ampharos. I when I was a kid, I didn't like Ampharos. You know, it's a little sheep thing. Like, who gives a fuck?
You see,
Yeah,
But then I'm like,
what I want
I
to
used
add
them
to
later
Pokemon, like, well,
is,
go on, I don't want to
when I used them later, like now it's like my second favorite Pokemon, which is pretty much all I want. The point that I want to make.
Okay,
So it's
go
like,
ahead, Omar.
Well, like, what I wanted to add to the whole Pokemon thing is, like, I wasn't ever, like, really into the Pokemon games. You know, like, the only one that I actually played was, like, Pearl, and that's it.
Okay.
But, like, the reason
A
I
good
never
one.
really got into Pokemon was because, like, in my honest opinion, I felt like it was all the same shit. There are so many Pokemon games that it's, like, it's basically all the same thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's
It's
the
the same
same
algorithm.
game over and over and over and over. You add a couple more Pokemon, you know, however many you want. You make them look cool. You give them fancy names and whatnot. But it's all the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to shit on it.
and
but
see,
I feel like that's what
but
it is.
that's
you
like,
know,
see, like that's kind of what we're getting at. Like when I was getting at, whereas like I think it's okay when a series kind of stays the same, because that's kind of like what people come to that series for. Like you play Devil May Cry to kill a bunch of dudes to do combos and stuff. Like, you know, that's what you expect. And so with Pokemon, you expect it's an RPG. It's pretty simple. You have a team of 6, and you battle other dudes.
Yeah,
Right, but
I see, but like what I'm trying to say is that there's so many Pokemon games already that it's like
I
there's
think
like,
I see what you mean because we
you
give
know,
a
a lot
lot
of
of shit to Call of Duty, but for doing the same thing every year. But like, yeah, Pokemon does it too.
You know what I think
Right.
you're trying to say is that Pokemon is like one of those things that it's stuck in its old ways, just like
No,
the
yeah.
Assassin's Creed games are. All of it's just the same. Like that game just has a worse rep than Pokemon does, but essentially it boils down to the same. Like you're doing the same thing. You're following people over and over again. You're killing people, right?
No,
Pokemon's
yeah.
the same thing. Like
Yeah.
what innovation have they done? And it's like if you think about it, they haven't really done much innovation aside from what's kind of going on now. But like that stuff, even then, it's like
I don't like it. I didn't like
It's like-
Sun and Moon. The
So I
Poke-
like Sun and Moon.
Pokemon has become such a safe title. Like they can do the same thing, and they know it'll sell billions of copies. They don't need to try any harder than they already have.
that's
But
why
you see,
I don't.
I think the game as a whole is limited anyway. I don't really
see,
know what they could go with.
and I
it.
kinda-
I like their spin-offs because some of their spin-offs are pretty good, and some of their spin-offs
you
are
played the
because
Mystery
the
Dungeon,
thing that
right?
makes
Mystery
Pokemon
Dungeon
good
is-
is the Pokemon, and that's kind of like my thing with
Yeah.
like people who like Gen 1. Like a lot of times, like my favorite gens are like the ones that have my most favorite Pokemon in it. Like I like Platinum a lot of reasons because I like Torterra, who's my favorite Pokemon. But like the thing with like Pokemon playing it safe and stuff, like Pokemon has never really been a game series that's pushed the envelope.
Right.
Yeah.
See, like with
'Cause it
Breath of
never
the
has had
like
to.
with
It's
Breath of
such
the
a
Wild,
niche.
I felt like they played it safe, and they did a lot of trends that were popular in the gaming industry. And I always felt that Zelda was kind of like a thing that did its own thing, and kind of like we're gonna do our own thing. Like with Wind Waker, like we're not gonna do the gritty, realistic style of Ocarina and Majora's Mask. We're gonna
No. That's feel like you're mistaken though. Legend of Zelda has also gotten into that safe category too. That's why they made.
That's what
Breath
I
of the-
mean.
No, but you're saying that you don't like that. I on the other hand, believe that's a good introduction, though. You say it feels kind of like open world-ish, but if you think about it, all the other games have been streamlined. You have a open area.
See,
You go to point A and point B, and that's it. But this new game, it's like you can do whatever you
But
want whenever.
my point was that I didn't mind that it was open world. My point was that I feel like it feels like every other open world game out there right now. Instead of like, it's The Legend of Zelda, but open world. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like that's better than having another game that's essentially Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess.
I mean, I agree. Like, there comes a time, especially like with Zelda, I felt like was a series that kind of like pushed things to the next level. Like Majora's Mask was like way different than Ocarina's Time.
Dude, I like that game.
And
That
it's
game
made
was
on the
hard
same
as a
engine.
kid.
Yeah, man,
Like,
that was a good game. But I don't know,
Hey,
man.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt all y'all, but did y'all ever play A Bug's Life on PlayStation?
no.
It was
I saw the movie like a decade ago.
Dude, I like that movie over
Dude, that was
Ants. That was like the rival movie, bug movie or whatever.
Let's
Alright,
talk
let's-
about movies. What's some
You know what?
movies?
You know what's a good segue into that? You said movies, right? When
Yeah.
when I think of movies as a little kid, since we're on the topic of nostalgia, I think what's the first thing that comes into my mind?
Rush Hour.
No, not certain.
I
movies.
watched Rush Hour a lot as a
Like movie stores, like
Dude,
you go to a movie store, you rent a
Oh.
movie, or
I used to like
sorry, you rent video games.
The Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster,
Dude,
movie
Brit.
gallery.
I
all of
used
those.
to
Oh,
go
you
to
know why
movie
I
gallery
died, right?
too.
What?
The internet. The internet killed Blockbuster.
Yeah,
It's
But
funny.
still,
the
like-
internet's so nostalgic, but it kills everything that is nostalgic.
yeah, but like I know you guys have had that like like you go to the movie store and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this game or I'm gonna get this movie, and it's just not there, ever.
Yeah.
No, but like
Killed it.
I felt like my childhood had a lot of that in it. Like not the missing a video game, but going to a movie store, going and being like, oh man, like what video game am I gonna rent today? Or like, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. You just
Or
have to
like
pick
you've been trying to rent a game for like forever, and you're like, I hope it's there today.
Or you know what's even
Hope it's
worse?
there.
When you rent a game and you can't beat it in the time that you have rented. And so you have to turn it back in and hope that it's there again or that no one else has rented it.
That was Fallout 3.
I know this probably wouldn't be a game that everyone would want to rent, but we rented Guitar Hero Aerosmith like 8 times, dude. I don't know why. Like, for me, Guitar Hero, I love that series. I was okay at it, and that was just a game that I always wanted to rent.
I miss playing the game. We would
No,
all
man.
play.
Kind of sucks that the series died. I know they like
You
streamlined
see,
them,
but
pumped them out.
if you think about it, is it a good thing that it died, or is it not? Because would it be as good as?
Oh
if
no,
it
dude!
died?
Perfect
You know what I mean?
example, like the newer ones that came out. I liked them because I was a fan of the series, but I mean, it's the same thing over and over again with like a couple of song changes. I mean,
Yeah, it's just a few
Thanks,
extra
60
fresh
bucks.
things, but it's not as a whole fundamentally
Yeah.
any different.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But
like you play it for the little I know we played a lot of Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but we really only played it just to play those few songs, and then after we
Yeah.
played those few songs, we're just like, well, we don't really want to play anymore. Just go play something else, or we just go do something else, or go eat anything,
Yeah.
literally anything else. We'd only play for like an hour or two,
yeah.
and like
I know I
that.
played the heck out of all of them, dude.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like
That was a game that my parents would always buy me day one, over Call of Duty because that was shooting and stuff and all these
Mhm.
other games. But that music game was the only one they bought me, just like every day it came out.
Have
Yeah,
you ever
man,
like
it's-
revisited something and like it was better than you remember it?
Whew.
Crash Team Racing.
I can't think of. I actually can't.
It was better than you remember it.
No, definitely Crash Team Racing. I didn't know how much crazier you can.
The anime Fooly Cooley was like that.
Oh my god.
Cause like
Yeah.
I watched on Toonami. Toonami's fucking topic we probably should be on.
Oh, I missed
Yeah,
it.
that's how we found out about Naruto and stuff. That got
But
Yeah,
like
same.
Toonami used to like air Fooly Cooley forever. Like and
They
it's like
used to
it's like
air
6.
Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah, that too. That's another show
didn't
that
watch
was
that.
better than you remember.
Cowboy Bebop's good.
Cause like you know, as
I
a
hear
kid,
good
like
things
you
about
don't
it. I
get
just
it,
never
but
seen
it's like
Yeah,
I
You
remember
would like it over here.
Yeah, you probably
It's
would.
it's like a mature kind of show.
yeah.
and it's
I'll
like
give it a
chill.
shot. I just haven't.
If you like Space Dandy, you'll like it. Guaranteed.
Space Dandy's the shit, dude. It's a manime.
All right, guys.
No,
Let's
yeah.
save anime for another day.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But
It's back to the video game store. It sucks that they all died now.
yeah,
Like there'll be no other experience than that. And
No.
I feel like the only other thing that comes close to that is arcade games for sure. Because like that made me so happy as a kid. Walking in a store or a gas station.
Dude,
to see
they're
arcade.
relics of the past.
I used to play the fuck out of Sunset Riders at the old CC's.
Hell yeah, man! That game was good.
Dude, fucking love Sunset Riders.
Battletoads, man.
Ours was
Hell
Battletoads,
yeah.
dude. That's the game
Yeah.
we spent a lot of quarters on.
Unironically, right?
Yeah, we'd go see a movie at our old movie theater, and then my dad always gave us like a quarter or two before we left, because that's
Get it
the only place to play it.
You pop that in, play for like a minute, and then hope you had another quarter. But,
So then, at what point does everything just stop being nostalgic?
I don't know, man.
I don't know,
I feel
'cause
like
it's
that.
like there's a
It's
lot of
weird.
shit that I still like. Cause I'll replay certain games every once in a while. It's like, is it even nostalgia if I replayed it last year?
You see, but like I guess if you really think about it, nostalgia doesn't ever really stop, because like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we're gonna be thinking about all this. Or
Yeah, think about it. We played
You know,
Melee a lot, even
yeah,
recently.
we're gonna think that's.
Are we gonna
nostalgia
stop
later
playing
on.
it? Like 50 years from now, like how you said, when we're like 70 and stuff, are we gonna look back to like, hey, I played Melee and was, wave dashing and all this stuff?
I feel like nostalgia as an ideation and so oh, sorry about that. But the ideation as a whole, it's like I feel like the moment that you realize it's a thing, it's when it glass shatters for you. Because when you don't realize it's a thing, it's like you'll be so hard headed against things that you loved because you loved them as a kid or because they made such an impact in your life. I mean, I think that goes to show for anything. But I feel like the bad thing about that though is that like it gets used against us. Like you see all nowadays,
The money
it's like,
grabs.
yep, the money grabs, and it's like, why for whatever like why do you think all these new like they're new movies, but they're just the old movies or like
Does
video games
does
being
Marvel
remastered?
rely- Does
It's
Marvel
minimal
rely on
work.
nostalgia?
Most return.
You know, the comics and stuff, and I guess TV shows.
But I feel like that's a different kind of nostalgia because, like, you know, the gap from Marvel was comic books to TV shows or movies, but like that's a big gap. But I'm talking about like movies that came out not too long ago being remade again into the same movie.
Oh, like The Lion King, Aladdin.
Aladdin,
The Jungle
and
Book.
it's
That
like,
game
do we
was-
need these? Do we need these games still?
I guess it's just for the money.
Yeah, it sucks that it's that way too. Because, I mean, as much as we love these games, it's like, do we really need them?
Damn. So like okay, so game remasters HD like
That too.
the Crash Bandicoot, you know, the Insane trilogy.
But
Banditoot, like Bandit Fart.
Bandicoot.
you say like not remaking games, but like can like they remake a game and make it better? Because like
If-
I'd
if they
argue
make it-
like
That's where I
Heart
was getting
Gold,
at. Like
Soul
Crash
Silver is a better game than Gold.
You
and
see, if
Silver.
they make it better, that's okay.
Would they
Right?
change it though?
Resident the
If they make it-
first I haven't played the second Resident Evil remake, like of Resident Evil
dude,
2.
Resident
but
Evil remake.
the
2,
first
second
the
one?
first like Resident Evil remake was like everyone loved it, and that was like remade not too long after like the first Resident
Dude, Resident Evil 2, the remake is amazing. Like they changed it. It's like, you know, it's same
So-
story, I guess, but like they did an amazing job.
So
Yeah.
would a good example of that be like Chip, you might know, but like Mortal Kombat 9? That's basically a remake of
That's a
1 through
reboot.
3, but better,
That's a
Is it a reboot?
right?
It's just
a
Is it like a
reboot.
reboot
It's just a
remake or no?
reboot.
I feel like that falls more into a reboot because they tried to change stuff in there.
It's
But, like,
technically a
I-
sequel because it takes place after Armageddon and it reboots the whole fucking thing, but
Well,
I don't know
goes
about
through the
that.
story
it's
of
treated
like-
as a reboot. Like it's not like a remake.
No, he's right. Yeah, it does take place after Armageddon. Yeah,
Because
he's
the
right.
very first
Yeah, but
cutscene
that's-
is like the end of the Armageddon thing.
But that's how they rebooted it, though.
Yeah, but you could say that's like it's still canon. Everything that happened is still canon. It's
It's
just
still canon, but it doesn't matter though.
Are we
Yeah.
agreeing like that some games can do it right and some
No, but like for instance, like
when nostalgia is harnessed for good, it is a
like
good
for
point.
instance, like a lot of people like the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, right? And so do we really need Wind Waker HD for Nintendo Wii U? Like, is that a
But-
thing that?
See,
or
it's not
just-
it's not a bad thing because I probably would have never played Wind Waker if that didn't come out.
Okay, so for those that have never been introduced to it, sure, but like we could have always got a new Legend of Zelda game or something.
But you know, let's say it took like a year just to port it over and give it some like fresher graphics over like 5 years over. you know.
Dude, I would have taken 5 years. 5 year. If it takes longer, it usually means it's a better game.
Where the heck is my charger?
I
I'm
agree
just
with
saying that as like an example because like it probably didn't take a lot of effort to report it. to
But
the Wii U.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey, Roach, how are you?
Doing good. Whoever did that, not cool.
I didn't do it.
What? Popped in?
They moved me.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
moved.
well,
But
you're catching
I
us
guess-
on the ending.
Yeah, we're
has
we're
that
about to
Final
wrap it up.
Fantasy game came out? The remake that they're supposed to do, has
That's
that came
fine.
out or no?
For
Which one?
what?
The Final Fantasy VII remake, has that come out
It's
or
in
no?
development
dude.
hell.
It's still in development.
I mean, I hear people wanting to play it just because, like, they know
Like-
about Final Fantasy VII because, like, the movie or
I
whatever.
I think
Or
7 is
Cloud.
overhyped,
I guess.
dude.
And it's like, well,
y'all think
I mean,
that
I'm
it
kind of
will-
interested too, because like I don't know about the game. I just know edgy Cloud from Kingdom Hearts, but apparently he's not like that in the main game. I think Will told me.
Yeah, he's
So,
like a
do
chill
y'all
dude.
think that the games would only be good if they were remade, like, like so many years after the game has been out? You know what I mean? Like, for instance,
Like,
like Final Fantasy VII, for example. If it wasn't remade until like 10, 15 years from now, would that make it better? better or no because of how long like the time difference between the original and the remake.
The
You
thing,
know what I
with,
mean?
the
It's
thing with
still about
video
five.
games,
It just came
Are you
out.
saying like, is it still gonna be good?
No, I'm saying
No.
like, would it make it better because it's like a complete remake?
I mean, in
Oh,
theory,
You know, like
theory,
if the
it's
time
like,
difference.
yes.
Like, does the time?
Yeah.
You know
in
what I
theory,
mean?
it should be better because gameplay and stuff should be better. Because
Yeah.
like, you know, I'd argue like most games
I see what
play
you're saying.
better than the average game of like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but like, do we need it though? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, we need new games. Like, we don't need to be treading old grounds. Like,
That's
Maybe
Like-
the
But that kind of
whole-
goes into the thing of like, should series, you know, say it's keep it safe or evolve? And it's like, well, are people's
Exactly, and it's
tastes
not,
gonna
like-
stay the same or is it gonna evolve?
but
And,
it's
like,
just
I argue
plain being lazy though. No.
But
In some cases, like when you remake games and you change stuff up, that's a matter of opinion. But like when you're literally just copy and pasting games, like that's just being lazy, crash and grab.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they fixed, quote unquote, fixed anything with like the Wind Waker HD. But
They
if they
added
pretty
one
much just
thing.
moved, if they
no,
just
they
pretty much
made
moved it
one quest
No,
like not
they-
as obnoxious.
Didn't they like fix the entire Triforce Hunt too?
Yeah, they made it a lot shorter.
That's the quest that he's talking about. But still, that like, is that worth a whole new game? A whole $60? I don't think so.
Well, see, like
I
with
would
Kingdom
prefer
Hearts,
to
the
left.
Kingdom Hearts thing, they made the final mix versions, which were Japanese versions that had a lot more content that they didn't put out when they put out the original games. And like, see, like we never got
Exactly,
that to
though.
the States. We never got that in the States. And
That's
so when they had
content,
the
that's
remake,
new.
yeah, it's like a whole, it's like more parts of the game. It's like easily another like 6 hours worth of gameplay, or like just stuff to do. And like I like that, and it didn't cost any more, and it wasn't ridiculous. And I got a whole
That
nother
sounds
game
nice.
for $30, and
Yeah.
or $40. No, I think it's 40. But I didn't pay a full 60. I got 2 games pretty much, and you know it may have been the same game, quote unquote, but they were they had more stuff, you know, and like stuff like that I liked a lot, and I really appreciated that Kingdom Hearts did that. And like the same thing with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, like that's a fantastic Pokemon game. It's probably
There's like
my
there's a-
favorite one.
yeah, there's like a quote.
Easily. And there's so much. It's. I mean, yeah, it's the same game, but there's so much more stuff in it. And that's what makes it great.
And you see, I'm not arguing for a game to be like a game with more content being remade, or like being remade with more content, more things to do. I'm saying things that are straight ported over don't need
No,
to be
yeah, yeah.
ported over.
No,
maybe
agree.
I'm just biased. I don't like the idea as a whole. I don't think we should be remaking.
But the thing is
games.
that if they're remaking nostalgia properties, they're probably like it's probably been long enough to where like a remake is justified because like so much has changed.
But
with
but
video games.
justified doesn't necessarily mean like just because you're doing it doesn't mean it should be lazy.
Me and you both know it's not because it's justified. We know it's because of the money, dude. There's nothing telling me that they care enough to be like, you know what, you guys want a remake of this game, we're giving it to y'all.
Ow,
And it's like they probably have enough backing
Rip.
to where they're like, yeah, you like it's the same thing I was telling you about stakeholders.
You know, we'll be safe.
Tell
This is a
stakeholders,
safe
like,
move.
look how many fans love this game. Like, just let's pump a little bit of money.
But
We
you
don't
can-
even have to do that
you
much
can-
work. We just have to
tell me
do
why-
a little bit of programming.
Do you know that Final Fantasy game? Tell me why it's in 3 parts. Because the people that want Final Fantasy, they'll buy all 3 parts.
Oh, that's right. They are doing that, right?
Yeah, it's not just you pay the 60.
But
It's a
bucks,
money
it's
thing, guys.
is
It's a
it-
money thing.
Yeah.
That to that extent, that's a money thing. Like if they, I
Just
don't know,
squeezing
like,
money out of you and squeezing money out of your emotions.
I'm trying to think.
Specifically nostalgia.
Oh, How much
Because
was like,
you-
for instance, Majora's Mask when it came out on 3DS? How much was it?
Oh, that's a good example. That's a
I don't
remake
know.
that was bad.
Yeah, they dumbed it down.
They messed that game up.
What do y'all mean? I didn't play the remake.
The remake of it, like they
Yeah.
they kind of made it more, I guess,
Easy,
accessible to children.
Yeah.
They
That's
ruined
not
things.
that's not the Legend of Zelda games. Like they're supposed to be.
Well,
difficult.
it's not just Majora's Mask though, because Majora's Mask is hard, dude. Like as a kid, I think that game was hard.
Yeah, it is,
but,
it is
like-
hard as a kid.
No, but if it's a remake, it
not
should be a
bad.
remake. It should either they should have
That's
added
old
more.
Nintendo.
Yeah, they remade it to where the certain things don't work the way they should. Like
Yeah.
I think the water temple in that game,
Yeah,
the swimming mechanic is so god awful in the remake.
I don't know.
yeah. They
Didn't
also
that make the water temple easier?
Isn't the Ocarina of Time remake fine though?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
good.
that one.
I
But
think that one's
the
good.
thing is though, that one was more of a straight port over.
Yeah.
The only thing they added was like,
the pretty graphics.
I think they added some like Street Pass stuff. I don't remember.
I don't think so. Oh, they had something. But
Well,
like Majora's Mask, I know they butchered that one for a fact. I get that it was like, you know, to reach out to more like you said, the children or whatever, but it was just like, man, they could have done something better with it.
At least add difficulty modes.
I don't think they had.
That-
No,
that's
they
just-
didn't, they
that's
didn't
just
have
like-
it in Majora's Mask.
No, I understand that, but if like you want kids to get accessible into games, like I wish Pokemon would do this, where they make it a little bit hard. That would keep it more interesting and fresh. Where they like
Would
make
that
the
alienate
AI
new players,
smarter. Huh?
Would that alienate new players if it's a little hard?
No. See,
Well, you'd
see,
have
the
a
point is where you have
difficulties.
difficulty settings, where it's like a new player. Kingdom
the
Hearts does this
beginning.
pretty well. So you have difficulty settings to where it says like, okay, new players play this mode because you'll get to see the
Oh,
story.
DMC has the same
Find
shit.
into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played
Stuff like
Persona
that's
4
really
today, and they had the same exact thing. They had a beginner, like
Yeah.
they had a normal, which is like if you're not retarded, and they have like a hard mode.
Yeah, that's how I do it. If I want to enjoy a game, you know, like the story first, I play it on regular mode, normal.
Yeah, I usually just play on normal, unless like I played it before and it was.
Well,
like,
see,
easy.
I like challenges and stuff, so like I'll play it like on the
Start on
crazy
hard?
difficult, especially if I've already played it.
I
Like,
think
I
some
wish I could
games
play
can
Pokemon
afford
over.
You
Really
doing
hard.
that? Because like the Spider-Man game, they bullied, like my roommates bullied me into doing it on like the hardest mode. You know,
I
And
played The
playing
Last
through
of
it,
Us
and
on
I think
that.
it made it fun. But some
Yeah.
games I think would be challenging. Like I started God of War, the new one, and that game was hard just on regular mode. I died a bunch of times.
Was that like
So I
recent?
can't even. Yeah, dude, I can't
Oh.
even imagine like doing this on like whatever it is, the hardest mode. So I don't know,
Like Dark Souls on the bare bones.
dude.
Remember when you showed me that?
Yeah.
See, I played through Dark Souls like that. I thought
They remastered Dark Souls, and I've been playing it, and oh my god, it's hard, dude.
Yeah, first Dark Souls, fucking.
I had to stop playing it because I just kept getting mad and
No, the
started
first
playing
Dark
Breath of the
Souls
Wild
has a bunch
instead.
of bullshit.
all right.
I mean, I don't know. All in all, nostalgia's good. I guess up to
I mean,
a certain
I think
point,
it's
and then
fine.
it's not good.
There are
Yeah.
some people that like it just kind of feels like it's like you're 30 years old and you still
Yeah,
like, and
I
you
agree.
still like talk about Pokemon Red and Blue.
I don't know.
Like, I think it's
feel
fine to like games, but there comes a point where it's like
We just
you're
get
not a
over
fan
it.
of a series, you're just a fan of those games.
The game.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's just to each their own. You know,
even
some people.
even some stuff like that, like most Melee fans probably wouldn't say they're a fan of Smash. You know, they'd say I like Melee, which I think's like a decent mindset to have.
Makes sense.
I
Yeah.
can see your point.
They're just like the game, not the franchise.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah.
Why don't you wrap us up, Will?
Thanks, guys, for making us through this. Stay tuned. Monday, I believe we'll do something.
Field topic. If you
Have a
Feel
good
free to
topic you want us to do, please leave that in the comments. Please like and subscribe.
Oh boy.
Hey, tell
Please
them about-
follow
Don't forget to
Roach
turn on the bell, guys.
Turn on the
please,
bell.
Ooh,
Turn on
when
the
we
bell,
hit
and
10
you'll be the first
subscribers,
person
let's
to
do a
know.
special, guys. If we hit 10
Yeah.
subscribers,
If you get
Please,
Hit
the
please
bell,
buy
subscribe,
Roach's album.
comment, or that. Y'all don't have to. Don't forget to subscribe,
Retweet,
like, comment,
retweet his retweets.
share on Facebook, share to you anything you want to. I don't know.
Follow
sell
us on Instagram.
Oh yeah, we have an Instagram.
Oh
Right?
yeah, we have
Someone give him the at. I don't know it.
All right, we'll put it in the
Put it
description.
in the description.
At-
below.
The ad will be in the description.
We'll link it in the description.
The
well
first
as
person to
well as
follow
all
gets a
our
big
Twitter accounts.
anime titty bitch.
I don't know about all that.
Dude,
Whoa.
That's the number one prize, dude. Yeah, you get that. Hell yeah, you get that.
All of our
Anyway,
Twitter-
guys.
Get that sweet
All right, all
cunny.
right, all right, guys. That's it. Good night, people.
Alright,
All right. Good
That's
night.
all, folks.
night.
Hit
peace.
subscribe, please.